Lesson 3.4 on Thursday, September 20th was almost like a review on the distributive property. Back in the first unit, when we did the distributive property, it was based upon binomials by binomials. So we saw that again when there was two terms that had each parentheses had two terms in it, and we were supposed to be multiplying them by each other. We learned two different ways. We learned that we could use the area model where we had the squares, and some of us liked that, and that is still definitely an option. When we had labeled it 4n plus 1 and 2n plus 6, and it's very much so like the Punnett squares that you see in science, where we do each individual piece by each individual piece and we write the result in that square. We have to remember the exponent rules, that if I multiply a variable by itself, the same variable, I end up adding their exponents. So 4n and 2n gives us 8n squared. 4n times 6 gives us 24n. 2n times 1 gives us 2n, and 1 times 6 gives us 6. In this method, just like any of the other ones, we would be looking for like terms. I have 2n to the first powers, so I would combine their coefficients and get an answer of 8n squared plus 26n plus 6. Keeping in mind, we always write our final answer in standard form, so that's from greatest to least based upon the degree, or sometimes it's simply just the exponent. The other way we learned it was just by using the distributive property and understanding that 4n has to be multiplied by both terms in the second parentheses, but 1 also has to be multiplied by both terms in the second parentheses. So if we did it this way, we would have 4n times 2n gives us 8n squared. 4n times 6 gives us a plus 24n. 1 times 2n gives me a plus 2n. And 1 times 6 gives me plus 6. So when we combine like terms, we still get 8n squared plus 26n plus 6. So several different ways. Some of you, we also discussed FOIL, which is another method. It's just kind of a trick to help you if it's two binomials. But if you move on to things that are not binomials, you can't technically FOIL anymore. So that's why we just want to stick with these two methods for the most part, because the next thing we looked at in 3.4 was to multiply a binomial by a trinomial. So a two-termed polynomial by a three-termed polynomial. And so again, for this one, you could use the area model. So instead of a 2 by 2 area model, you would have a 2 by 3 area model. And so if you set it up, you would have your 4a plus 2 times 6a squared minus a plus 2. So multiplying it out here, we're going to have 24a to the third power minus 4a squared plus 8a. Then we'd have here 12a squared minus 2a, and then a positive 4. Okay, I don't know why I wrote this plus here. Sorry about that. That just came out to be a positive 8a. And so looking for like terms, only one of the terms has an a to the third power, so we've got 24a to the third power. And then we have two terms with an a to the second power, so 12a squared minus 4a squared leaves us with a positive 8a squared. And then two terms here have the a to the first power, so we've got negative 2a, and then we also have a positive 8a, so 8 minus 2 will leave us with 6a, and then all we have left is the constant of 4, so plus 4 at the end. We could also do a distributive property as well, where we know that this 4a has to now be multiplied by all three terms in the second parentheses. So that would give me a result of 24a cubed minus 4a squared plus 8a. And then we would have to come back and know that the 2 also has to be distributed to all three terms. And so that would give us a plus or a positive 24a squared minus 2a plus 4. And so here again, we'll do like terms. I've got 24a cubed, and then I've got, did something different. Hold on one second. I multiplied 2 times 6 and called it 24. That is 12. Okay, 2 times 6a squared should have been 12a squared. Sorry about that. So then negative 4 plus 12 should have given us a positive 8a squared. And then 8 minus 2 should have been a plus 6a, and then plus 4 at the end. And then so we could distribute it or we could do area model. It was really something we had seen a lot of before. We were just kind of doing it again, making sure we knew how to do the 2 by 3s instead of just the 2 by 2s, making sure we remember exponent rules and how to combine like terms properly. Your quick check for the first part of the unit is going to be on 3.1 to 3.4, just for us to kind of stop, take a temperature check, see which of these are our weakest, learn from our mistakes, and improve before we get to the final test.